Welcome to Dear Husband, Dear Wife with Danny and Jenny Fuentes, a podcast about dating, marriage, and sex, where we break it down, keep it real, and unashamedly go there. Our goal is to foster a space that welcomes you to have conversations with us regarding these topics. And since we believe in seeking the truth about these topics, we guarantee to keep a biblical perspective in all things related. So go ahead and grab your favorite drink and or put those earbuds because it's about to get real.
Hey guys,
What's up?
how's everybody doing?
Question mark?
Question mark.
Yeah.
This is Dear Husband and Dear Wife.
With Danny and Jenny Fuentes. Well, welcome back to another episode.
Welcome.
Yes, and if you're a first-time listener, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Today we're going to be talking about
Money.
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 Yep.
Money.
Yep. Money. His,
Her money.
our money.
Our money. What does that look like?
Yep. For those of you who are dating, this is a great question to think about and to kind of ask in your relationship, especially if you're thinking about taking the next steps, right? So, and if for those of you who
options.
Yep. And for those of you who are married, this is something that can be very tricky at times. You know, the Word of God talks about money. Well, Jesus spoke about money so much more than he spoke about faith, right? And we've heard that before. Yeah. And so, like,
Jesus likes money. Right?
This is like, well, no, it's not that. it's he knew that money would be probably one of the biggest problems in our society because we would see it as a god. We would
as an idol.
Yeah, we would worship it. We would depend on it. We would trust in those little numbers that are in our bank account versus trusting in him, right? And so he knows very well that, you know, we've heard people say, you know, money is the root of all evil. And it's to some extent, it can definitely be true, but money can also be a blessing if we know,
how to
utilize it. Exactly. So in this episode, for the sake of this episode, because we're talking about marriage, sex, dating, whatnot, you know, that's what our episode's about. We're going to be talking about his, hers, and our money.
Money.
So in the context of marriage, his, her, our money. What is that?
It's money. It holds a financial value to our current state of economics.
And it can cause divorces.
It's the very thing that can be used to bless people and, you know, to make good things happen can also, you know, it's the very thing that can also allow bad things to happen. Money is a big deal, you know, and God definitely talks about that in the Bible. And it's interesting if you think about it. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard this before also. But it's very interesting how, God makes it clear, you know, to not tempt him or to not test him. But when it comes to money, it's the only thing in the entire Bible where he allows you to test him with it.
Yeah.
Obviously not in the sense of like, you know, trying to find a flaw of some kind. But in the sense of like Jenny was talking about, you know, we automatically build a strong dependence on money. And it feels good when we have a lot of it. And it feels good when you see that big number in your bank account. But what does it look like when it's not that way?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that couples always have to consider is once we live together, once we are married, is his money becoming my money and is my money becoming his, right? And does it become our money? And we know several couples who operate and continue to operate as his money is his money, her money is her money, and there's no such thing as our money. And
Yeah.
then we know plenty of couples who operate the opposite, where his money is my money, her money is my money, and now it has become our money. Mm-hmm. And so I guess, like, is there a right way to do this? You know, for some people, it works to keep their bank accounts separately, but let's be real, like, there can be always that tension, especially if we become one and we're married. We should be learning how to do our finances together, and we should be able to trust each other with our finances. So I think that's really important, because once we're married, it's no longer just me living life, you know? I don't ever want to feel like Danny has to borrow money from me, or vice versa, where I have to borrow money from my husband.
Yeah.
And then I have this feeling of owing him something, because I should never have to owe my husband anything, and he should never have to owe anything to me.
Yeah. It's interesting how some married couples function this way. But I think personally, and this is just my thought, this is not an advice or anything, but I think if it works, then it works. Obviously, as long as there's a mutual agreement and a great sense of respect towards each other when it comes to finances. You never want it to be a thing where money is the sole problem of a marriage.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's all money, and at the same time, like I wonder what people think or feel for those who have gotten divorced because of money. Oh, what happened in the divorce? Who cheated or who did what? No, nobody cheated. Oh, so what happened? It was just money. Like, what? Really? All of that just because of money? So kind of it just puts this really bad stain on marriage when it comes to money and how spouses work with that. Another thing, like for Jenny and I, for example, I don't know, when we first got married, I always felt it in my heart to just have that kind of approach where, whatever it is that I gain, it's also Jenny's gain. But it's weird, like, how can I put it? It's interesting how that has always been my approach, my thought process in life. Yet I've never seen it vice versa, where whatever Jenny gains is my gain. It's weird.
What do you mean?
Like, I mean in the sense like if Jenny won $100,000 in a lotto, like I wouldn't see it as I won $100,000. Like it's weird. I don't know why. It's nothing like, not that something bad happened or, or I saw it in my family kind of thing. It's just, I don't know. Like I always felt like I think what it is, I think it's just the whole concept of winning, I guess. Just the general concept of winning. Like, it feels good when you win, But not everyone sees it as a good thing when, oh, I won, but because I won, this person won, kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense.
So you still see us separately?
I don't see it as separate. I just see it as like, if I won $100,000, oh man, I'm excited, and I will see it as Jenny won $100,000 too, But if Jenny won $100,000, I'm like, that's Jenny. Like Jenny won $100,000. And again, it's not, I don't see it as a bad thing. I'm not saying like, oh, Jenny, that's your thing and this is my thing. It's just, I think what it is that by me including myself, I feel like I'm taking from Jenny when I don't want her to ever think I'm taking from her.
Do you think that has to do with like gender or like masculinity and whatnot?
I have no idea. I didn't see it in my family. My dad wasn't like that. My mom wasn't like that either.
Or could it be because since we first got married, I used to be the one who used to bring financially more money?
You know what? I think that's it. Yeah. I never thought about that, but I think that's it. Yeah. Because that's true. You were the first one that started working, and I wasn't. So
I was the breadwinner.
Yeah, so I felt bad. Like if you brought home an extra $500, I felt guilty taking that as my own. Also,
Yeah.
So yes, I think it definitely has to do with that.
I figured.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. No.
Dang.
Yeah, I want to read a statistic. I just literally want to read this because I think it's so interesting.
Money, money, money.
Couples that argue about finances at least once a week are 30 more likely to get divorced. So in other words,
1 to 30 times a week?
No, sorry. Couples that argue about finances at least once a week are 30% or more likely to get divorced.
Okay.
The same study also found that couples with no assets at the beginning of a 3-year period are 70% more likely to divorce by the end of that period than couples with $10,000 in assets. So in other words, like
if you fight once a week because of money, you're getting divorced.
No.
And if you get married broke as heck, you're getting divorced. That's really sad.
I know, but this is is a statistic actually from like divorce lawyers. And these are facts and rates for 2022, by the way. So
dang.
We're talking about
so what is so the key concept of this entire episode, guys, is just get money.
No.
Get money.
Money, and again, I'm reading this again.
Just get money.
Check this out. Actually, this is really good. Money arguments are the second leading cause of divorce behind infidelity.
Dang.
High levels of debt and poor communication lead to stress and anxiety when it comes to finances. And nearly half of couples with $50,000 or more in debt say money is their top reason for arguing.
That's interesting because we are about $300,000 in debt.
But that's student loan debt.
But still, that's debt. Debt is debt. Like we're, freaking $300,000 in debt, but we're doing great, guys. We're fantastic. We have the Lord with us. We don't care.
No, are you being sarcastic or are you being real?
No, I'm being serious.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure with your tone of voice what you were trying to say. But this goes to show you like the importance of communication when it comes to money and why you need to have a specific strategic way of doing your finances.
Gotta have a plan, guys.
Yeah, because it can totally lead to a lot of problems, and we don't want couples out there divorcing because of money, because of debt. I think the first and most important thing is this. Okay, let's take into consideration when we first got married. And we're being transparent here. Yeah. We usually use our stories,
broke as a joke.
And that put a lot of pressure on both of us. Yeah. It put a lot of pressure on me because I was the one bringing in money, but it also put a lot of pressure on Danny in the sense that there was guilt and shame, of like how to perform that. And we found ourselves kind of bickering at each other at the beginning because of money, and.
But see, this is the thing. Like, at least I remember our fights. Yes, they were revolving around finances. But it wasn't like, oh, Jenny, you're blowing money on stupid things, or Danny, what the heck? Like, why are you spending so much money on things we don't need? It was literally more on the basis of I just wanted a job. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted money so that we can just get the things that we needed to get. Like, I didn't care, if I was making $10 an hour or 12 or 7. I just wanted a job during that time because I felt guilty that Jenny was the only one that was working, and she was working really hard and I wasn't.
Yeah.
And so that's why, now, again, thinking back on the whole, like, if Jenny won $100,000, I would see it as that's Jenny's money and not mine, is going back to this whole when we first got married where Jenny was the only one that was working for quite a while, and she was the one, making sure that we had the money to pay the bills and everything. And I just, kept my head down and didn't say anything because I didn't want to add more stress to our situation where, again, we just financially were barely making it.
Yeah. And I think one of the most important things to understand is when you get married, you realize
You're broke as a
No,
joke.
no. You're realizing that you're inheriting each other's debt.
This is true,
And
guys.
we forget about that,
This is
and that puts a
true.
lot of stress in so many
Yeah.
couples. So that's
I
why
didn't go to school when we first got married. I only had a high school diploma. The second I said I do, I instantly went into $200,000 in debt because of Jenny, guys. Because of Jenny. But like I said, we have the good Lord in our hearts, so we don't care.
no. That's not true. That's not true.
We care, but we don't care.
But the truth of the matter is this: it's like we arguing because of money is going to lead to a lot of stress and anxiety
Yeah.
based on the research and also based on what we've lived. The truth of the matter is like it does create anxiety. It does put a stressor in your marriage or in your relationship. And then it leads to what society research shows and calls as financial infidelity, meaning you start lying to your spouse about money, or you start
Man.
hiding information about money to your spouse.
If this is you, we're not shaming you. We're
No, we're not.
shaming.
We're not.
I did it. I'll admit, I've done that where, and it's usually more with food. I'll admit, I'm a foodie / fatty. So, Jenny would be like, "Oh, what'd you spend?" And I'm like, "Oh, babe, without being too descriptive, but I blew like $30 on McDonald's or something."
Yeah, so I think it's one of the things that Danny and I now have in place, because I remember we were doing that with each other. Like we wouldn't tell each other what we were doing with our money, and then we were like, bills came, and we're like, where the heck did the money go?
Where's the money?
So
where's my money, woman?
so communication is very important, and so one of the things that we started doing is now we tell each other like, hey, I'm going to use some of the money, or or we don't just make decisions, especially big financial decisions, like without consulting with each other. I think those are so important things, like so many important things. Like, and now we also budget. We've been there, guys, where we used to have a lot of debt, a lot of credit card debt, and the truth of the matter is like, it was putting pressure on Danny. I can feel the stress on Danny. I can feel the stress on myself, especially because at that season of our lives, we also like either were losing our jobs, didn't have good jobs that would allow us to help and pay off our debt. But money can really put a wrench in your relationship and even in your happiness. You think the more money you have, the more happier you are. But the truth is, more money, more problems.
More money, more problems.
Yep. And it's because you have this idea that because you have more money, you can spend more. But the truth of the matter, if you're not smart, you're not wise, you're not consulting with your significant other, with your spouse, how to manage finances, you're going to find yourself really quickly in a very awkward, uncomfortable, frustrating position because money's not being administered in a really wise and right way.
Yeah. Again, guys, it's I think, and I personally don't think that Jesus has anything against finances, but it's how we utilize them. Again, the money that we can use to bless people, whatever, churches, to put into the Lord's kingdom is the very same tool that we use to make things worse or to, walk over other people, financially. And so at the end of the day, it really comes down to how you utilize your finances, how you guys come together to administer your own money. Obviously, we live in a world where it's all about that number in your account, and if you don't have it, you're a nobody. And that's not the Lord's mindset. It's his kingdom is upside down, where he's all about investing in him and allowing him to be your sole provider. And personally, and again, this is from my personal, story, for Jenny and I, we've seen God like really make things happen out of nothing, where literally the end result is always, there's no way this could have happened physically, like by our strength.
Yeah.
Like this this literally has God's name written all over it, and there's nothing else that I can do or use to make it otherwise. And so, you know, we're in that season right now where we're allowing God to be the center, you know, of not just our lives, not just our you know, our marriage, but our finances too. You know, and it's interesting. I remember, I think I'm not a Bible expert, but I think it's either in Romans. I think it's in Romans actually, where he where he talks about how to utilize your money and how actually carrying debt is not part of his kingdom. And so, I mean, I've read the Bible countless of times. I've read so many verses countless of times. And when I was reading this, I was like, oh, snap. Like this is telling me being in debt is not the kingdom way. Mm. And so instantly right there, I thought to myself, I'm not living financially the way God is expecting me to. Mm. And so, you know, we're all on a journey. You know, some of us have been blessed with the ability to make a lot of it, and you know, the rest of us not so much. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's a concept of who can make the most, the fastest, or whatever. I think it all just comes down to being wise, you know, and not allowing that to be the center of your marriage, not allowing that to be the center of your life. And definitely not allowing money to replace who Jesus is. But yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things, you know, to acknowledge, like Danny was saying, is keeping God at the center and not making money your idol. You know, not being money hungry. You know, I think that's,
oh man,
that's the word I want to use.
Well, I was money hungry, guys.
Yeah. And I remember Danny was so bitter. And
I instantly became bitter and miserable.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I just started paying attention to the most insignificant, stupid little things.
Cents, guys. Cents.
That involved, yeah. If it was like an extra 5 cents, I'm going to murder someone type of deal.
Yeah.
Like, it was that dumb. Honestly, guys, like, it took me a while. And again, I'm not rich. For those of you who know me, I'm not rich. I don't come from wealth. I don't have an inheritance. My parents left us, you know, absolutely nothing. I got nothing, guys. Nothing but debt under my name. That's all I have. So, yeah, I was definitely money hungry for quite some time. And did it get me anywhere? No. I still got the same dollar sign in regard to debt. And yeah.
Yeah, so. I think one of the most important things to understand and to acknowledge is that, you know, money should not master us, but we should master money. And in your marriage, you should learn how to master money together. Not let it be something that you master separately, not let it be something that masters you either. But you should be masters of money. And in the sense of you're basically knowing how to manage your money together and having conversations of what that looks like, you know, not hiding money from each other, not creating these secret accounts, you know, or not undisclosing any debt. Or all those little hidden purchases, you know, pesky little purchases like that Danny says, you know, like that he does. Because because it can really contribute to a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. And unfortunately, the reality and the truth, as dumb and as stupid as this sounds, is it can totally lead to divorce eventually. You know, yeah, guys, and it's like over a pesky, stupid little golden arches purchase. You know,
don't let the golden arches come in between you guys.
Yes, and I think the most important thing to understand is this. I don't know. I am very, very blessed at the fact that I have a husband who we're very equally in our marriage. You know, he's no
super guys. I am praying that Jenny becomes my sugar mama at some point. because I'm ready to quit the workforce.
So, but we are very blessed and fortunate that we treat each other very equally. Like Danny's no better than I am. He's not better, and I'm not better than him. But in that season, in this atmosphere, I want to say that we've created in our marriage, we've learned to communicate about finances. We've had hard conversations about finances.
Yeah.
And I've never in a million years have felt like I have to ask or beg Danny for an allowance. And vice versa. He has never had to beg me or ask me for an allowance. But we look at the money, and when Danny really wants to buy something and he's dreaming about it, he lets me know. And we basically say, and he knows this, and this is true. Like, if the money's there, I'll say, yeah, let's buy it. And I'm very like, let's do it, right? And sometimes he freaks out because I'm like, he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. But if the money is not there, I'm real. And I said, hey, the money's not there, and right now it's not the time. And let's figure something out. Like, let's start saving towards it, or, et cetera. And it's the same thing. Danny does the same thing with me, like reverse the roles, and he does it with me too. Like, if I want something, he'll be like, sorry, babe, not right now. We can't afford it. And he'll be like, okay, cool. So, I think the most important thing to do is don't see money as just your money. Don't see money just as his money or her money, but see money as a collective blessing that you guys can manage together, that you guys learn how to manage together so that you guys can be successful.
Yeah.
A lot of the financially successful couples are people who manage their monies together. Mm-hmm. They don't manage separate accounts.
Yeah.
Because again, it can cause money infidelity. And that word is real.
And that's cheating, guys.
That really is.
That's cheating.
You're cheating your wife or your husband from money.
That beautiful double quarter pounder or McDouble that you've been biting on, it'll come and get you, guys.
It really will.
It'll come and get you.
It really, really will. But yeah, I think, it's really important for us to see that, and I think, again, we want to be masters of money, not money mastering us. So, anything else, babe, that you didn't think of?
No, just, again, it's a hard topic. Obviously, it's money. A lot of people don't like this subject. But it's definitely one that we cannot ignore. Again, it's part of life. I think at the end of the day, I don't think it matters. I personally, and this is just my personal opinion, I don't think it really matters if there are, married couples out there that literally have separate accounts, but they've never had financial issues or never had fights because of finances. If that's you, kudos to you, and my hat's off to you guys.
But it's so rare, Danny. Like,
it is rare.
So rare.
I wouldn't expect a lot of people.
I would say the couples that we know, the reality and the truth of the matter is there's a lot of secrecy when it comes to that money.
True.
So
I wouldn't know.
I would actually counteract that argument, and I would say, if you can try to learn how to manage your money together and put it together.
Well, I also think about it like this, because I could see that working to the extent of, like, let's just say, the wife is much better at the finances than the husband is, and they have separate accounts. And then the husband realizes he's blowing a ton of money, and then the wife is doing pretty good, and they both make about the same. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can use that in a positive outcome and kind of see yourself and be like, oh, wait a minute, we're making about the same or whatever, bringing in about the same, yet I find myself, scratching my credit cards trying to figure out what to do while my spouse is doing pretty good. And again, I just see that as like, maybe that's what's probably going on again.
Yeah, but that's like
I like to give the benefit of the doubt. I can't, come out here and say, oh, for those of you who have separate accounts, you're screwing around secretly. I can't do that. I can't say that. So
yeah, I guess that's where you're better than I am.
So, I mean, again, if it's working and yeah, like Jenny said that, if it's working and there are no secrets and, both spouses are being honest and forward with their finances, even though they are carrying separate accounts, then kudos to you guys. I mean, again, I can't judge and I have no reason to. But for anyone who, feels like that's not something that they can function with and both spouses have to share the accounts type of thing, and then that's just how it is. For Jenny and I, we share our accounts. She's in every single account that I have, and I'm in every single account that she has, and we both have the same bank. We don't hide anything. If I go and spend something, she's going to see it when she opens up the app, and she's done it, and it's literally happened. Where I've gotten, McDonald's, and literally like a minute to 2 minutes later, she's texting me, "What the heck did you buy a McDonald's?" And I used, I could easily use those text messages to like lie and be like, "Oh, whatever, I bought the McPlant that just came out." You swear you're going to get a McPlant at a McDonald's. But, again, it's one of those things where we're honest with each other, and vice versa. I've done those things where I myself, I'm like, "Hey, I noticed this charge on your debit card. What's up with that?"
Yeah.
But again, it's not for any of us to feel like we need to ask for permission because we're adults. We're not children, and there's no need for permission.
Yeah.
It's more just being in the loop. Yeah, it's just being communicated. Just having that communication and being in the loop of what's going on. Like I've always told Jenny, like, "Hey, you don't need to ask me if you can get something. If we have the money, awesome. Just keep tabs on the account, make sure that we're not overspending, so like that we get our bills paid, and then we're good. If we got X amount to spend, then do it. Knock your socks off. I don't care."
Yeah. One of the things that I also would want to say is the beauty of cash, man. Like, actually having cash. Danny has lately, lately has been teaching me of like carrying cash and the importance of carrying cash versus like swiping that card, right? Because that card can get you in trouble a lot of the times. Mm-hmm. So,
swipey, no swipey.
Yeah. So I would say like find ways that you can budget together, friendly budget stuff. I love it when Danny has a certain amount of cash in his pocket, and I also get a certain amount of cash in my pocket, because it also takes that stress of like what Danny was saying. You don't have to be asking for permission, but it's like, oh, these are like my $60 and I can do whatever the heck I want with them. Right. And vice versa.
Until I tell you what I want you to do with them.
But no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. But yeah, I think, that's the most important thing. And I just want to end with this because I know that we're running out of time, but Matthew 6:21 says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." And I think the most important thing is this, like, if your treasure is found in money and in that bank account, and you're greedy and you're selfish and you're lying about money, that's where your heart is at. And the truth of the matter is, you got to check yourself. You gotta get some help. I'm not going to say it nicely. Like, the truth of the matter is, you got to get help, buddy, or because it's just going to keep ruining you. And it's going to keep, like Danny said, he was so obsessed with money at a moment in his life, and it was making him bitter and angry. And, his dependency was on the money and not in God, But I would say, find ways to talk with your spouse. If your spouse is not good at managing money, talk to him or her and say, "Hey, like, I have dreams. Let's start dreaming together. What are some big dreams that we want to do?" Like, I know Danny and I have been talking about purchasing a home. And so that means, we got to get our debt down. We got to, be on with our student loans. Like, we have to start now saving versus spending a lot of money.
We have to go out and hassle people that owe us money.
No. No one owes us money. But,
crack skulls, ask questions later.
Seriously. Sometimes I don't even know why I'm doing this with you. Anyway, I just say this, like, the truth of the matter is, like, start dreaming together and start saving together. And for those of you whose hands tend to itch and want to always be buying and don't know how to manage your budget very well, trust your spouse. Trust your spouse. That's the person you love. That's the person you marry to help you walk through. And now, if the two of you don't know how to manage your finances, then get help. There's really
then you've hit rock bottom.
No, get help. Like, there's tools out there. Like,
kidding.
the Dave Ramsey may work for you. If not, there's a bunch of books of people who write about finances and savings. Like, really, like, start exploring what method works for you and do it. So, yeah. So we leave you with that, if anything. So it's not about his money, her money, but it's our money that we learn how to manage together and that we grow together, that we invest together so that we can have the future that we've always dreamt about.
If you dream together, it just makes it that much more exciting.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree with you.
All right, y'all.
All right. I guess that's it, guys. We've hassled you enough about money. Again, we are thankful that you've joined us on this podcast. I hope that whatever it is that we say is of help to you to some extent. We don't know everything. We don't have all the answers. We just are glad that we can be a couple that are more than willing to share their story. Take what works for you and throw out what doesn't. Thank you for your time, and we will catch you guys on the next episode.
All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. We really enjoyed hanging out with you. If you really enjoyed hanging out with us too, then we ask you for one simple favor. Go ahead and leave us a review and let us know how we did. We thank you so much, and we really appreciate your time. We look forward to seeing you next week. Adios.